You're now tuned into the hottest podcast in the world, the Stay Woke Podcast, right here on the SonicBreakdown.com.
Welcome back to another Stay Woke podcast. This is DeRa Brinson, and you know the Stay Woke podcast is presented by the SonicBreakdown.com. So I'm going to get right to it. Today's going to be a very special episode, Sunday release, giving you some predictions. So today's guest that's going to help us break down this Game of Thrones episode, or this prediction episode, we have Benjamin Ananawo. We also have Reddy, who's been on the podcast several times before. We got Brotha to the left, who's also been on the podcast several times before. And then we have a new person as well, besides Benjamin, Lonnie. Check out the episode. It's going to be the full episode of the Game of Thrones, which has some backstory of previous seasons and our opinions on our favorite scenes and favorite characters.
Number one prediction for the season, which has been a prediction for mine. I'm in a group me chat for Game of Thrones. Shout out to that group me chat. We ain't got no name for it really. But the wall will fall. That's the number one. That is without a doubt, complete 100% certainty that the Night's King will topple the wall somehow, some way. On top of that, I have a prediction that, we've seen it in the posters and stuff. I was a big fan. George R. R. Martin had a book named and so as a result, I thought there was like another dragon maybe that was like in the wall. So when the wall fell, an ice dragon was going to pop up. And that's what was me thing. But to be honest, I think when the dragons dies, I think it will be Viserion that dies when Daenerys maybe takes her dragons up north or lets Jon Snow borrow them. And as a result, the Night's King will revive him. Jorah, I think, goes and gets the cure for the magical rock aids that he has. On top of that, Cersei, I think, sits still on the Iron Throne when all is said and done. I think Euron Greyjoy shows that he is the new villain of the season. So that means multiple people are dying. So Yara Greyjoy is dying. Maybe Theon's dying. A lot of people out here are dying. Lady Olenna, she's lived a lot of people out here are dying. Lady Olenna, she's lived a good long life. She probably dying out here. And I definitely think the Tyrells or the Greyjoys, or both of them, will align themselves with Cersei. Euron will probably offer, as he says, his big dick to Cersei's, along with, his ships, Jaime, because that's the only, woman that Jaime's ever been with. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. And the Hound will survive. Brienne will survive. Arya will survive. Littlefinger's ass will be dead. And that's the way it goes.
Some of that I agree on, some of it I don't. The parts I don't agree on is the dragon part. I do believe, I believe they already had one that was sleeping. So you talking about one of the three would die. I think they already have a dragon as a ace card in the back when it comes to the snow ones. Because we know the last war, when they burnt the whole island of iron, I believe one of those dragons are actually already been revived behind the wall, just on that sleeping type shit. Iron, I believe one of those dragons are actually already been revived behind the wall, just on that sleeping type shit. So when they're really ready to be serious, they're gonna bring that little ice dragon out, and that's gonna be like Ice Dragon 4 or actually 5, because they talked about back then that 2 or 3 dragons that burnt that bitch down. So I think they at least got 1 or 2 of them. The other part that I agree on, Arya, all the Starks are going to survive this. I think they're going to survive all of Game of Thrones. I have to disagree with one part. I do think Cersei. I do think Cersei may die. I think like that they've been building her up to this capacity where, she's a beast. She's that bitch. You don't want to fuck with her. But I mean, every time we seen when George R. R. Martin always had a character that y'all start to love to hate was the first thing we'd off away. And I believe she's next. And I think that's going to be when the true fight for the throne happens. We were talking about a little bit earlier. I think, Jon as well as Daenerys, they're going to get together. We're going to see them join forces to try to take over the throne. But I don't think Daenerys is going to make it all the way. I think this season that's coming up, we're going to see Jon actually get his true roots of who he is, that he's Targaryen and he's some other stuff, just that real where he's coming from. I do believe Arya's going to kill like 100 people in this bitch because, that bitch crazy. And then we're going to actually really see Sansa step up into who she really is, which is really, in all true and honesty, she is the true leader of the House Stark. Because, Snow technically is a Snow. Anytime you get that Snow or Sand title, you're a bastard. And no one wants a bastard to rule. We saw that with the crazy motherfucker that got killed. So no one wants a bastard to be your main lead. So I do believe she's either going to take it or it's going to fall on Bran. But the reason I don't think it's going to fall on Bran, because I think Bran's going to go on kind of on that, I don't think Maester tip. I the magic tip where he's gonna be like, yeah, I know I should take over and become the new ruler, but you know what? I got this major responsibility of being this tree dude, and that's what I got to do. I got to be that magic guy to help bring the kingdom on.
We haven't talked a lot about Tyrion, and I'm kind of interested in what would his role be in this upcoming season. Is he gonna marry anybody, or is he just gonna be an advisor to Daenerys? So I'm kind of interested to see what he would do. For a prediction, I would say he marries somebody, maybe Daenerys to consolidate.
You think he's gonna get Daenerys?
Maybe to consolidate some power in some sense. I don't know. Just to.
What power would she get from the imp?
Here's
His
by
dick
watching
ain't
like
long
the
enough to
end,
box with God.
watching
That ain't gonna happen.
No, but I feel what Lonnie's talking about, because at the end of the last season, you see Daenerys getting really close to Tyrion, right? And you see them getting a very strong bond that she hasn't had with anybody else. Almost like that's hand, right? To be the right hand or whatever. You see him like it's kind of intimate. That was an intimate scene.
I agree with.
So I think you can see something. I wouldn't put that. It's not. It's not that far fetched. I think.
I agree with what you said about the power, about who the closeness. But my question to you is, she's all about power consolidation and making her way about who the closeness. But my question to you is, she's all about power consolidation and making her way to the Iron Throne. What power consolidation can he really give to her that Jon can't give, which is a natural born as well as somebody like anybody else?
Yeah, I think that I think she's also someone who's prone to follow her heart as well. Yeah, but if she doesn't see Tyrion getting away with that, I think that, again, I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. But if it does, I don't see her marrying him as something that's out of the realm of possibilities.
Let me hop in there real quick before you give your predictions. I just want to piggyback off of what you guys said. I think the possibility of what he brings to the table of power wise, one, he is a Lannister. So he does have some rights to the Lannister house, as well as he knows how to run King's Landing. He knows the politics of King's Landing. She has no idea the politics of King's Landing. She has no idea the politics of him and Varys. That gives a nice little corporation between them three. And I can see that being a possibility because he is, with all the women from every season that he's been with women on a real relationship basis, he's treated them fair, respectful in relation to those times. So I can see her from the in a relationship aspect of her saying, yeah, he's a good dude. He also knows this that can help me acquire power. Why not? Versus there's really nothing holding him back for her to say, no, not him.
He's an imp. They're not getting together. That's just not happening. Because let's also look at the women that he's interested in too. Lower born women, some of them former whores, whatever he's married.
Some insecurities.
He's not into power like that. It suited him well when he was, the second in command, which to be quite honest too, other than like a wildfire trick. I mean, he was running King's Landing okay. He ran Marine into the fucking ground. Let's be quite honest about it. Like, if I could go ahead and choose which is gonna be a topic for another day or whatever, but if I could go ahead and choose a hand, I'd definitely choose Davos over Tyrion all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. No, she's probably gonna end up sleeping with her nephew Jon, because technically, under the Targaryen thing, she's his aunt. So that's probably what's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna end up sleeping with each other.
That was gonna be my prediction. I was gonna say that Daenerys and Jon Snow, make an alliance, physical or not, but come together and take on Cersei and Theon's uncle. I see them first. Yeah,
I don't think they take them on though. I think they take on the White Walkers. I think the throne gets decided next season.
Possibly. But then also, I'm really interested to see how Littlefinger plays into this, because he's going to be somewhere making power moves, and he's going to have something to do with how things end up.
Before we go on, but I think the Jon Snow Daenerys connection is a little too obvious, and I think one thing that's key with the Game of Thrones series is that they will surprise you, and so that's why I mentioned the Tyrion Daenerys connection, just in case, just to throw it out there, see what happens.
But one part of my prediction is something that Ben kind of said. I do believe that she'll never see the Iron Throne, but I do think she'll see a throne. I think that before the end of not the season coming up, but season next, it will split into two different monarchies. I think since they've said it multiple times, nobody can take the North. I think it's gonna be the North has a kingdom, and then technically the South or whatever you want to call them has a kingdom where they're in unison and the kings talk to each other. Where it's Jon Snow and her, and then maybe someone else takes over the Iron Throne.
I mean, I just don't see that. I mean, Arius taking over. She's gonna go ahead and get with Jon. They'll go ahead and get together, but I think it's more so for about an alliance. Jon cares about the White Walkers. Everybody else cares about the dumbass crown that has nothing to do with anything. So he's going to convince her, I need your dragons to fight the war in the North. She's going to be like, I need you to go ahead and bend the knee for the North or whatever. I need you to go ahead and bend the knee for the North or whatever like that. He going to go ahead and he going to bend the knee. He going to go ahead and lick the creation of her pearl. And then that's about to go ahead and be that. And then she going to convince him to go ahead and fight on her side. But eventually, I think, will all come together. Even Cersei, I think they will all realize there's this dude that ran the air and people come back to life. And that's who we have to defeat.
Right. And I think this is how the series is going to end. Not just this season, but the entire series. I think it's going to be, they're going to figure out how to beat the White Walkers. It's going to be a huge battle. The whole country is going to be fucked up. And the humans will win, but it will be at a ridiculous cost. And I think fucked up. And there will be someone standing, but they won't have much of a country left. And I think, what do they call it? A something victory? Pyrrhic victory. That's what I think is going to happen.
I mean, all of those are great predictions. We got, a couple of hours before we find out some of those predictions, possibly. Before we get out of here, we have a special little pool that we're going to roll through. For all the listeners out there, this is how this works. You're going to pick your bet on, let's see here, we got 7 questions. You have 7 bet lines. You pick your bet, and if you get it correct, you have an option. We have a surprise gift that you'll find out if you win it. We also have a shout out on the podcast, and then another gift is spot on the podcast. Let's get into these questions, and I'm going to throw these questions out to you guys because we want to see if you guys are right about these predictions as well. First prediction or bet line, and this is called the Game of Thrones death pool. The first question is over under Arya killing 5.5 people this season.
I'm going under. I think she's just going after big dogs. She's not going to be out here just killing scrubs.
I'm going definitely over. I think she's going to kill the big dogs, but I think she about to go on stage and kill some other motherfuckers during a war or something.
I'm going over.
Yeah, over.
Okay. Question number 2. Will Jorah Mormont find a cure this season?
Yeah.
Again, all of these are specifically for this season.
I think he getting saved like magic in the 90s, baby. He find that cure.
I gotta agree with that. I think he's gonna have that ultimate epiphany, and all of a sudden, like something that he can never figure it out. All of a sudden, is gonna come like fucking Tinkerbell tapping him with some magic wand.
No cure.
For the Arya, I'm going under. I think they're gonna save her real killing spree until the last season. For number 2, will cure? I think he will. I think you're right. I think he will, but I think it will be something similar to what Ben said. I think it will either be Sam or actually I think Bran. Bran might cure him as well. And so the next question we have here, will Bran take Winterfell by episode 5?
I think Bran by episode 5.
Yeah, specifically episode 5.
Bran will get to Winterfell. No. I don't think, because I think Bran gets to Winterfell in like episode 6 or 7. I don't think he takes it. I think he gets there. No, I don't think he takes Winterfell. I think he gets there by episode 5, but he doesn't take around Sansa. Sansa will be the keeper of Winterfell, and possibly I also think Littlefinger, because I think Sansa and Littlefinger will have a wedding.
I agree with parts of that. I don't think Bran's going to take it at all because I don't think that's like his role in this show. I think it's going to be a Snow/Sansa Littlefinger help taking over. I don't know about the marriage part, but I do think it's going to be a Jon Snow take over Winterfell.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take Winterfell by episode 5. I
don't think he's going to take it either. I don't think he's going to. I agree with everybody here that I don't think he's going to take it, period. But I do think that I think Sansa's going to take Winterfell. I don't think it's going to be Snow. I don't think it's going to be Sansa and Littlefinger. I think it's literally just going to be Sansa. Who will sit on the Iron Throne?
None other than the baddest chick in the game, off with their heads. Cersei Lannister will continue to sit on the throne until the final season.
I disagree. I think she'll do to the end. She's either going to be killed or she's going to be taken off the throne.
I agree with Ben. I think she's going to stay on the throne. I mean, it's the most coveted item in this whole series, and she's basically been either around it or involved with it in some way, in some form. So I think they're going to keep it going because we just, kind of love to see her there.
And I will say, I agree. I think Cersei will be on the throne, but I think it's going to be more closer to, as Ben brought up too, as well as that is more going to be of, we all got to figure out the enemy of my enemy is my friend. These White Walkers are more important, more dangerous than any of more dangerous than any of y'all. The little political games y'all playing here is peanuts in comparison to, like you said, a man that can raise his hand and people coming up from the dead. That's more important. So it's going to be, she has it, but it's because nobody's really going for it because they have more things in mind. Will the Mountain, this is number 5 for everybody out there who's keeping track. So this is number 5 for everybody out there who's keeping track. So definitely you have to tweet us, Instagram, or Facebook us your responses for them to be counted. You can also email us, but those are going to be the main platforms to do it in. Go to our website. You can get our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's either sonicbreakdown.com or Stay Woke Podcast this season.
No, I do not think the Mountain will be killed because I think he is only going to be killed at the hands of his brother. And I think the Hound will be helping John's ass out in between the North and wherever else they are.
For one of the first times in this podcast, 100% agree with Ben.
Yeah, I think the Mountain is going to be key for Cersei holding the throne.
I actually think he will be killed this season.
I'm going to agree with Brother to the left. I think he will be killed this season. I think he's going to be killed fighting for Cersei. He's gonna meet his demise. I think it will be probably the last episode. Number 6, we're getting close to the end. Which house will Cersei Lannister align with?
I think she aligns with House Tyrell and House Greyjoy.
Even after what she did to Marjorie?
I think if you remember when Sam was sitting down and talking with his father, and the few times that we got a chance to get to know Randall Tarley, I don't think he has a fondness for women being in charge. And now that House Tyrell is in a lot of trouble, I could see Randall Tarley because he has to come back. They don't. Same reason why people are like, oh, Euron, blah, blah, blah. They got dragons. All his ship's going to burn. He's a boss. He's going to be around something. So I think Randall Tarley aligns himself with Cersei, and that's how they get that house. And then it's a no-brainer that Euron Greyjoy floats up to King's Landing with his 1,000 ships off to go ahead and marry Cersei.
I agree and disagree with parts of that. I do think the Greyjoys will align with him, but I'm going to give a controversial one. I think Littlefinger has always been part of the Lannisters, and right now he just playing everybody, getting that power. Because we've seen before, like his little, what do you call them? His little birds. You know what I'm saying? It's not now been switched over, but I think he's never really lost that power when it comes to King's Landing. I think he's always still in her pocket, just on that kind of double spy type shit.
And the very last question: will one of the dragons die?
Without a doubt, Viserion is the one that I'm picking. That's going down. Named after Daenerys' brother. At some point, if her and Jon are going to sleep together, they're going to go ahead and try to create an alliance. Jon, I think, will convince her that the White Walkers are real because one thing is her counsel is Tyrion, and Tyrion trusts Jon. Him and Jon have a friendship from when they met each other. At the Wall. And why? She'll probably be like, Jon, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Reanimated corpses and stuff. Tyrion will be like, maybe you need to hear him out. And I believe Jon will convince her. He'll get the aid of a dragon, probably Viserion. And, White Walkers ain't nothing to play with. And you know what? That's probably exactly how the last episode, if I was writing the series, that's exactly how I write the last episode. I would write the last episode with him killing Viserion the dragon, raising it from the dead, flying it up to the wall, and crashing the wall down.
That's a pretty dope ending. I'm not gonna lie.
I disagree. I think a dragon will die, but I don't think it's going to be raised because we know dragons themselves have a magical ability that we haven't truly got a full understanding of. We have the eggs of the dragons that were, chilling for years and years and years and didn't awaken until we had Daenerys with the fire. So I honestly think that a dragon from the last war has already been dead that the White Walkers have been working on this whole time during winter. So then, I think the last kind of episode is going to be something similar to him, but different where they're going to come to the wall and, the other 3 dragons on Jon's side / Daenerys side are going to come up and be like, yeah, I got y'all. Y'all can't fuck with me. And they're going to fuck up a lot of White Walkers. And all of a sudden, it's going to be like the White Walkers, he's going to give that look like he did when he raised the people when Jon was running away. He's going to raise his hand or get a look like, nigga, y'all ain't got shit on me. And then the next thing we're going to see like an ice dragon that was dead from the last war come up and start fucking shit up and destroy the wall and show why the White Walkers are so powerful because they don't bring back regular people. Show that with a ice dragon from the last war and they're going to fuck up everything.
I'm going to say no. I don't think the dragon will die. I think that's going to happen in the last season very early, maybe like episode 1. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna agree with I'm gonna go with the dragon dying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one's gonna get it this season.
All right, well, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming in and listening to another Stay Woke podcast. Definitely get in on this Game of Thrones death pool and let us know what you think. Go to our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or you can email us at cofounder@thesonicbreakdown.com. sonicbreakdown.com. First, I want to say thank you to Lonnie, brother to the left, Benjamin, and ready for hopping on for another podcast. We're going to try to do more Game of Thrones. Let us know if we should do more Game of Thrones. Let us know if you like our discussion. Please leave us a review on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, or Stitcher. It really helps. A 5-star review. You know our motto: live, listen to some great music, watch some great shows, and above all, love more, man. We out.
Game of Thrones, though, dog. Yo, you all caught up.
The little guy is gonna marry a dragon.
We think.
But what about Khaleesi's? Straight up with them